It was past midnight when Ethan Cole returned home from a business trip. The mansion was quiet, the kind of silence that only wealth can afford. Thick carpets, tall ceilings, everything polished to perfection. He'd just closed a multi-million-dollar deal overseas, but as he stepped into his marble-floored kitchens, the last thing he expected to hear was the soft clatter of a spoon. At first, he thought it was a raccoon or maybe the cat knocking something over. But as he turned the corner, he froze. There, crouched behind the counter, was his maid Maria. She was in her faded uniform, her hair messy from the long day. In her hands, she held a small plate of leftover pasta, something that had been sitting in the fridge for 2 days. She was eating it quickly, like someone who hadn't had a proper meal in a long time. She didn't see him at first. Ethan stood there, silent, watching. His instinct was confusion, then shame. He had known Maria worked long hours, cleaning up after him, organizing his life so perfectly that he barely noticed her. But to see her there, hiding, eating cold leftovers in the middle of the night, it hit him in a way he couldn't describe. When she finally noticed him, the spoon slipped from her trembling fingers. Her eyes widened, and for a moment she looked like a child caught stealing. "Sir, I'm so sorry," she stammered. "I didn't mean to. Please." "I was just—" Ethan raised his hand gently. "It's okay," he said, his voice softer than he expected. "Maria, are you hungry?" She nodded quickly, tears welling in her eyes. "I didn't want to waste anything. I just thought, since you were out, I could take a little. I didn't eat dinner today. I didn't think it was right to cook for myself when—" Ethan's chest tightened. He'd never thought about her eating, never thought about what she did after cleaning up his untouched plates from business dinners or his guests' feasts. He always assumed she ate well, that she went home to a warm meal. But now, standing there in the dim kitchen light, he saw the truth. "Maria," he said quietly, pulling out a chair. "Sit." She hesitated. "Sir, I can't." "Sit," he repeated, his tone gentle but firm. He walked to the fridge, took out what was left of last night's steak and salad, and began reheating them. She watched, confused and anxious, wiping her eyes with the back of her sleeve. He plated the food carefully, set it in front of her, and poured a glass of water. "Eat," he said simply. She didn't move at first. "I can't, sir. This is your food." "Maria," Ethan said, sitting down across from her. "It's just food." When she finally picked up her fork, her hands shook. She ate slowly, at first trying to be polite, but hunger won, and tears began to fall silently down her cheeks. Ethan sat there, speechless. He had shared dinner tables with billionaires, world leaders, people who controlled empires. But never had he felt this kind of silence, the kind that comes when your heart is forced to wake up. After a few minutes, Maria stopped. "I'm sorry," she said again, wiping her face. "I didn't mean for you to see me like this." He leaned forward. "Maria, how long have you been skipping meals?" She hesitated. "Since my son got sick," she whispered. "He's 12. The hospital bills are too much, so I save every penny. Sometimes I just have tea before bed. It's okay, really. He needs it more than I do." Ethan felt his throat tighten. He had been so wrapped up in numbers, deals, and meetings that he forgot about the lives of the people who made his comfort possible. He reached for his wallet, then stopped. Money wasn't what she needed, not tonight. She needed dignity, humanity, someone to see her. "Maria," he said softly, "do you trust me?" She looked up, startled. "Yes, sir. Tomorrow," he said. "I want you to bring your son here. Don't argue. Just bring him." Her eyes widened again. "Sir, I can't." You can, he said firmly. And you will. The next morning, Ethan woke up early, something he hadn't done in years without an alarm. He made breakfast himself. Pancakes, eggs, and orange juice. He didn't even know why, but something in him had changed. When Maria arrived with her son, a frail boy named Daniel with tired eyes but a bright smile, Ethan greeted them at the door. He knelt to Daniel's height and smiled. You like pancakes, kiddo. Daniel nodded shyly. Good, Ethan said, because I made a mountain of them. Maria stood in disbelief as her son sat at the table, eating like he hadn't in weeks. She kept trying to help, to clean, to apologize, but Ethan stopped her every time. Sit down, Maria, he said. You work too hard. Today you're my guest. Halfway through breakfast, Daniel looked up at Ethan and said, My mom says you're her boss, but you're nice. Not all bosses are nice. Ethan smiled faintly, fighting the lump in his throat. Your mom is the hardest worker I've ever met, he said. She deserves nice things. After breakfast, Ethan asked Maria to step outside for a moment. He handed her an envelope. This isn't charity, he said before she could protest. It's gratitude. You've been helping me for years, and I didn't see it. This will cover Daniel's treatment, and I'll arrange for you to have paid time off until he's well. Maria's knees buckled, and she broke down crying. She tried to speak, but no words came. She just whispered, Why would you do this for me? Ethan looked out at the garden, the sunlight filtering through the trees. Because last night, you reminded me of something I forgot a long time ago. What it means to be human. From that day on, Maria's life changed, but so did Ethan's. He started spending his evenings volunteering at the hospital where Daniel was treated. He set up a small foundation in Maria's name, not for publicity, but because he couldn't shake the image of her eating in the dark, afraid to ask for help. Weeks later, when Daniel came home from the hospital, Ethan visited them. The boy ran up and hugged him tight. Mom says you're our angel, he said with a grin. Ethan smiled, his eyes glistening. No, Daniel. Your mom is the angel. I just got lucky enough to see her wings. And for the first time in years, Ethan felt something money could never buy. Peace.